talk today about allowing grace. You wonder why so many people have a lot of grace around them, and then so many other people are struggling financially, emotionally. They seem to feel that they have bad luck. And why is this difference between the amount of grace that people have in their lives? The first thing to think about is you have a mind, and that mind communicates with nature. In everybody's mind, there's a thermostat. The thermostat is how you are comfortable with a particular amount of luck, money, weight, beauty, deservedness, how much love is supposed to be in your life. All of that constitutes a thermostat. And the way the mind works, the subconscious mind, is that when you get grace beyond what your thermostat is set at, you unconsciously start to sabotage the grace coming in. So if somebody had a farmer dad who made $30,000 in 3 years, and then now you're trading foreign exchange on the internet and you make $30,000 every 4 minutes, then your family thermostat is not set for that. So you may feel guilt, for example, or you may feel bad, like why is the son making more than the dad, something like that. Everybody has a thermostat. How much love you deserve, how much money you deserve, how much success you deserve. I think body weight has a lot to do with the thermostat that's set inside the subconscious mind and so forth. In this talk, one of the first things you should examine is what thoughts your mind is broadcasting up into the air. Both the ancient yogis and quantum physics are saying that the force of nature has a mirroring effect. It takes your thoughts go up into space, collide with the natural force, and your own thoughts get mirrored back to you. And therefore, you should examine the results of your life and then compare that to the typical thoughts you're having day and night. Your own beliefs and your recurring thoughts are being ricocheted back to you. And really the way to go beyond hardship or low income or bad health is to examine these beliefs and go beyond them. Once you collect more evidence that grace is in your life, what happens is your fear is replaced by love. In other words, somebody has a very hard life, they have problems making money, there's no love in their lives, and then they examine the belief, they start to change the belief system. Now they're getting more evidence of grace coming in. As you start getting some good luck, some grace coming in, what happens is the emotion of fear gets replaced by the emotion of love. When love comes in, you get a big surge of energy because you're getting your first clue that whichever force is behind this river and these trees and whichever force is in the sky is now beginning to protect me. The idea of you being an unlucky person is total nonsense. You look at this scenery, there's no one tree here that says, well, I'm getting less sap than the other tree. There's no fish in the stream that's saying, well, there's less food for me than the other fish. What you need to recognize is that your body is being kept alive by the same force that's running this river and keeping these trees green. Once you get that recognition that nature doesn't treat us in unequal ways. Even a paraplegic that has most of the body functions shut down has been given certain talents to take care of themselves. My thought is that the force of nature doesn't create flaws. You don't find a seagull born that cannot fly. You don't find a deer that cannot feed itself. And so it's only the human mind that starts to get these theories of, well, I have low self-confidence and we are an unlucky family. Nobody in our family has ever been educated. These are all thoughts. And quantum physics and the ancient yogis say that this is a thought world. All of your thoughts float up to ether. They collide with this natural force. The natural force mirrors your own thoughts back to you. The dolphin doesn't have thoughts about being inadequate to catch some fish today. So what we're saying is there's really no flaw or inadequacy in nature. The only flaw is the mind that starts thinking things like lack of deservedness, low self-confidence, not enough venture capital money, blah, blah, blah. So as you start to collect evidence that there is grace for you, fear is replaced by love. As love starts to come into your body, you get this surge of energy. As the energy surges, you start harmonizing with natural forces more. Here, there's two main things I want to talk about in this particular talk. One is consciousness. The energy that's running this stream, the energy that's keeping these trees alive, is made of consciousness. And therefore, it reacts with your consciousness. And therefore, if you want the amount of grace in your life to increase, your consciousness has to change, which means you purposely have to get a hold of your mind. You purposely have to choose your thoughts until the tide of grace turns towards you. And then you start getting evidence of good luck, evidence of grace. Once that happens, your energy surges and you start thinking more about graceful thoughts and you get even more grace. So if you want to change your life, the one thing that's for certain, you must change your consciousness, because the God force itself is made of consciousness. That's one. The second concept is surrender. What are we surrendering? If your name is Kathy Miller, that has to be surrendered, because this nature doesn't understand what Kathy Miller means. In your mama's womb, you were a pulse. You were the original pulse of the original force of nature. The more you say Kathy Miller is the CEO of a company that she has established and she is the one paying the salaries of these 200 employees, the more you're burying yourself into lack of grace. Because my feeling is this force gets insulted by the idea of me, instead of you and me. My feeling is that this force of nature, the one that's in the stream right now, it doesn't understand the name, the passport. It doesn't understand I am the CEO of the company that I created. What it understands, what the God force understands, is oneness. Instead of French, English, and Greek, the only thing it understands is oneness. Therefore, if you want more grace in your life, try this approach. Every time you breathe, thank God that you're alive. That incoming breath is the force of nature. Every time that breath comes in, tell yourself, the same force that's running this stream just entered my body. And as I exhale that force out, I'm going to take a step in my life. In other words, find the field of activity that you like, show up every day, get rid of the me, because this force doesn't understand Kathy Miller. And once in a while during the day, just notice that you're alive. You're vertical instead of horizontal. Okay? Notice that you're alive, and then breathe. Bring in the breath, the same breath that all of us are breathing. Bring it in. Recognize it as the force of life, and then with the exhalation, allow that force to act through your life. You're not going to lose any money. All you're doing is taking away the false identity of Kathy Miller. If this film insults you, you're full of Kathy Miller. And with that pure identification with Kathy Miller, you're going to start having the opposite of grace. Because this stream, the weeping willow, the forces of nature, they don't understand what that means. I also recommend you don't rely on social media and advertising and mass society to give you a feeling of oneness with nature. If you pay attention to social media and advertising, what is the main message? There are three brothers in California with a reality show telling you how they are living. And my question is, why are you watching their life in order to form your life? What's wrong with your own life? You've been given unique talents to conduct your life. Don't ever think about competition. Thinking about competition means you're insecure about your own ability to survive. But I'm saying in a big ocean, every fish has the ability to survive. And you're made of the same energy. So why even look at competition? Why? If every fish is created with the ability to eat, so are you. Do you really need to change in order to eat? Why are we cutting off our body parts to be more beautiful? You're created to survive. Be proud of that. Competition is irrelevant. There's a very good saying. They're saying on a tennis court, instead of competing with the other fellow, you are playing tennis to become the greatest tennis player that you can become. You're not playing against the competitor. If you're relying on mass society, advertising, and social media, you're looking the wrong place. Because the message there is, let me show you what is the right figure. Let me show you which car you should be riding. The whole message is how inadequate you are and how much you can improve who you are in order to be cool. What is a reality show showing you? It's showing that those three brothers in California are living a cooler life than you. So we sit there with potato chips and watch three brothers' lives in California, how they are living. What does that mean? You're given your own uniqueness, you know. You're losing power when you do that. Two main concepts in this talk. One is consciousness. Everything you're broadcasting is colliding with that force and ricocheting back to yourself. So manage your thoughts. Number two, you surrender. Surrender your first name and last name. When you breathe, there's life coming into you. When you exhale, allow that life to act through you. You're not going to lose anything. It's just the identity is going to be managed. Finally, there is no flaw in nature. The basic force that gives movement to this stream is flowing through your veins. You are created as the darling of the universe, like any other creature. You have been created with that force behind you, running in your veins, making sure that you can survive. Forget competition. Become the greatest person that you can become. God bless you. We'll talk soon.